What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Fast. Today, let's get started with Michael Morales not stressing over UFC title shot. Michael Morales has a case to get the next shot at the UFC welterweight title, but he's not going to plead or try to convince the UFC to do so. Morales made a big statement Saturday with his knockout win over top contender Sean Brady at UFC 322. It was a big moment for Morales, and one that has some people wanting him to get a crack at the newly crowned UFC welterweight champion Islam Makhachev. However, unlike other contenders who are actively making their case online and in the media for the next title shot, the Ecuadorian star wants to sit back and let the UFC matchmakers do their thing. I don't care. The UFC is the one that decides. I'm not one to be asked if I want to fight this person, and I say no. If they ask me to fight Carlos, I'll fight him. It doesn't matter. If they tell me I need to wait a little more for the title, then I'll wait. As long as they keep giving me fights, I'm happy. I take it step by step. I'm not desperate. I'm young, and I'm just making the most of the opportunities that God gives me. If the fight with Carlos goes down or with Bilal Muhammad or Ian Gary or whoever, I'll wait for my opportunity and accept it. I think it's more than clear that I kept my promise. I promised to win in the first round, and I did that. The other fighters didn't keep their promise, so whoever gets the next title shot depends on what Dana White decides. Benoit Saint Denis lobbies for BMF fight with Max Holloway. Benoit Saint Denis has an idea of what he'd like his next fight to be, but also knows he's got some competition to get there. Saint Denis on Saturday had a come-to-Jesus talk with Beneil Dariush that lasted all of 16 seconds to open the main card at UFC 322 at Madison Square Garden. It was the third first-round knockout loss for Dariush in 4 fights. To make matters worse, he also missed weight for the second time as a UFC lightweight and had to give up 20% of his purse to the Frenchman. So now, Saint Denis thinks he could bring something to the game in the form of a shot at the BMF title currently held by Max Holloway, a symbolic-only belt, but one that continues to hold some cash among the UFC's favorite proverbial go-to-war fighters. But former champion Charles Oliveira has been lobbying for a crack at the BMF belt too, and that could make things interesting for Saint Denis. Of course, I want to fight somebody in the top 5. The BMF and the lightweight belt are the 2 belts I have my eyes on. I want to make this division the greatest again, like it's supposed to be. I have a 100% finish rate, but I think Oliveira and Holloway is the same though. Let's see. Ali Abdelaziz names Kamaru Usman as Islam Makhachev's next challenge. During a backstage interview after UFC 322, when the Dominance MMA CEO was quizzed on who he thinks the next challenge for Makhachev should be, Abdelaziz said, He said he wanted to fight Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman had a 15-fight winning streak, 5 title defenses, the greatest welterweight of all time, beat all these young guys. What does that do for his legacy? It does nothing. Kamaru Usman is a very tough opponent, and I represent him too, and he's not an easy night for anybody. He's the real deal, and Islam wants to fight the real deal. However, while Makhachev did mention Usman as a potential first title defense in the lead-up to UFC 322, the 170-pound landscape looks remarkably different following the pay-per-view. Michael Morales and Carlos Prates have risen as serious title prospects after their explosive knockout wins over Sean Brady and Leon Edwards, respectively. Furthermore, Ilia Topuria also seems to be contemplating a future clash with Makhachev. Even former #1 contender Shavkat Rakhmonov, who is eyeing a 2026 return, has called out the newly crowned champion. With the win at UFC 322, Makhachev has joined the elite club of fighters who have won championship titles in 2 weight divisions. Khabib posts heartfelt message for brother Islam Makhachev after UFC 322. Khabib was quick to praise his friend Islam Makhachev after the latter's win at UFC 322. The Russian achieved something that even the great Khabib was unable to do during his UFC career. Makhachev became a 2-division champion, and the Eagles shared a special message for him on Instagram. One and only Islam Makhachev. It was amazing performance, brother. Today you proved that you are the one of the best who ever compete in this game. You make proud millions of people around the world. Khabib could not contain his excitement after Makhachev won the gold. He was quick to take the belts off Dana White, who usually presents them to the winner, and instead did it himself.